Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drug Knitter Podcast. I am your host, Sophia. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing? I did a live show yesterday, and it was wonderful. And then when I went to go upload it, it kind of went poof. I don't know what happened to it, but that's okay because I am here today, and we are going to go over how I like to knit and read at the same time. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Let me get comfy. My chair is kind of crooked. I'm like redoing my room, so there's like a mess on one side, and my chair's gonna break. And then there's like not a mess on this side because I'm cleaning out one side. Whatever. Anyway, this is exactly what I mean. It's a mess. So let's get started. So I didn't pick my nose. I swear, I was just itching. So today we are going to be talking about how to knit and read at the same time. I get this question so many times because it's a skill. It really is a skill. But I've found some easy ways to do it. You know, some people claim it's cheating. I think of it as work smarter, not harder. So let's get started. So first we're gonna get into like your typical book. So when you use a paperback book, a physical book, you know what I mean? Like all my books are weird right here. Like I want to show you a book, but they're all weird. Like look, this one says when you're expecting. So anyway, let's use this book. If you're using a physical book, one of the biggest problems with knitting with this book is that A, it doesn't stay open flat. Okay. B, you have to turn the page as you knit, right? As you're trying to hold your knitting and then you turn the page. And C, oh my gosh, my neighbor's truck is loud. And C, well, I don't have a C, but A and B is enough for me to not want to pick up a book and read. So what I used to use, when I was in grad school, I read a lot, and I had, back in the day, like Kindle and PDF, like weren't really like for everything. They didn't have everything as a digital form as they do now for most students. So I had to knit as I read physical books. And my favorite way to do it was with one of these guys. Bing! I used to have one. I recently just got rid of it because I had to declutter my office. So I couldn't hold on to it anymore because I switched over to reading Kindle format and audiobooks. But this book holder saved my butt. If you still prefer to read physical books and you would like to knit as you read, for sure, get you one of these stands. That way it props up for you. I wish I had one on me. I literally just threw it out. I'm a little bit sad about that. But if you prop it up just like that, it'll be held just like that. And then you have your knitting. Okay? And so the good thing about that is that it's held up right in front of you, okay? And I like to put it on a table. So, like, I might like to do this at a desk, or if you have a high coffee table, like I have a high coffee table behind my sofa. So it'll be great to put it, you know, you get your seat, set up a high coffee table like this, have it open, and as it's right in front of you, then you're able to kind of see your knitting in your peripheral vision and still see the text. Does that make sense? So that was my number one way of doing it. It just saved my back. I used to also do it like this, where this is resting open on a surface, because those book holders, they have so many different configurations. So mine, I was able to leave it open like this and then knit, but then you're bent over. And I find that very uncomfortable and it hurts my back. So keeping it propped up on a table with a book holder is great. I've seen like DIY book holders, like I'm going to put the link below. It just uses a wire hanger and maybe some pliers if needed. I tried doing it yesterday. It worked, but then I had my husband help me and then he broke it. So, and then Vogue. It just went downhill. But I've seen several tutorials on how to turn a wire coat hanger into a book holder. And I did most of the steps. I just couldn't get to the last step because I needed a set of pliers, and my pliers are in here. My husband was right next to me, so I'm like, yo, you got big hands. You got man hands. You can fold it over. He did, but he folded the whole thing over and it looked like tinfoil at the end of it. But, you know, he tried. We tried. It's okay. What I'm trying to say is it works, and it's just a great, cheap way to see, hey, let me see if I like knitting as I read a physical book, and if I do, then you can invest into one of those cool book holders. But the number one way that I've seen a lot of y'all knit and read is with either your Kindle or the audiobook. So for those who don't know, this is a Kindle. I do not have one. My son has a Kindle Fire, which is more of a tablet, but a lot of people use the Kindle e-reader. It is made by Amazon. It is a great product. And it's just a way where you can read while it's still being easy on the eyes, because they call it like a paper white screen. So you can prop up your Kindle, you know, because a lot of Kindle cases come with stands. So just like with the book stand, you can prop it up and then you buy the book from the Kindle store. It was $2 for the longest time. Hopefully it's still $2 if you're still trying to buy the book. But you buy the book and then you stand up your Kindle. I mean, I use my son's Kindle to read off of, and it's just a tablet. And I prop it up on some things, or his even have a kickstand. But the whole point is you want it facing you like this, like straight ahead. You don't want it down here, because then you don't have to bend your back. And then you can have your knitting and your peripheral vision, and then the book straight ahead. And the good thing about this pattern is, well, all my stitches fell off. I'm knitting the accessory cowl right here. But the good thing about this pattern is that it's very repetitive motions. If you're an ultimate beginner, you may have to look down for the knit one, purl one rows. But most of it is just stockinette in the round, which is just knit stitch. So that makes knitting as you read much easier. If you're going to learn how to read and knit at the same time, this is a good project to start it on, to start with. That was my whole intention with designing this, is that it's still interesting enough with the color changes and with the occasional knit one, purl one rows, but you don't have to look down for every single row. But anyway, I'm getting off track. The Kindle is great because not only does it stand up, but also you just have to tap it to turn the page. With the book holder, you have to stop, put your knitting down, turn the page, and then you have to put the page holder back there, so that way back onto the book, so that way the book doesn't slam closed. So there's a couple of steps in between turning pages and reading. So that's what I like about the Kindle. You know, you already have a stand with a kickstand, or you can prop it up fairly easily. It looks like a regular tablet, just a little slimmer like a book, and you can just tap it. So like you need to change a page, tap, and it's very, very quick and easy. If you want a Kindle on the ground, like if you want to go out and buy an e-reader, Barnes & Nobles have their own called the Nook, and I absolutely loved the Nook. I had my Nook for 10 years. I kid you not, and it's still turned on. I had to get rid of it just because the battery life it just died. 10 years for a Nook is a long lifespan for a Nook. But I would totally get another one. But yeah, you can get the Barnes & Noble Nook. I don't know if they have Kindles at Best Buy. I know like y'all would know more than I do. I might do a Google search and see like what's close to the ground on like in my neighborhood, and then I can give you some links below to where to get the stuff that I'm mentioning. But yeah, the Kindle is my second favorite way to read a book as you knit. But my ultimate way, my favorite way, is doing Audible. For those who don't know, Audible is a audiobook service owned by Amazon. You pay a monthly fee. You can pay a monthly fee, like I think it's like $15 a month, and you have access to like one free book and then 2 free Audible originals, and then all the podcasts and everything that's on there is all included in the membership. Or you can just buy one book from Audible. You don't have to be sucked into a monthly membership. When I got the book, I actually didn't use my membership. I just wanted to see what it would cost as a non-member, and it cost me like $5.99 from Audible, and I really like it because when you get it from Audible, it's yours to keep forever, and you can listen to it on all your devices. I use my phone, my computer, my son's tablet. I've used everything to listen to Audible, and it saves your spot. So if I stop listening on my phone, it picks right back up on my computer or on my son's tablet. So I really, really, really like that about Audible. It makes it reading so much easier. And this is my favorite way to read as I knit because I don't have to use my eyes. I can just focus on my hands in my knitting. I don't have to worry about dropping stitches or my gauge getting uneven or forgetting where I am. I can just listen to the audiobook. And the narrator of this book that we're reading, I can't really say the title because it's restricted by YouTube. But if you're interested in what we're reading, I'm going to link it below. But the narrator of that book is very, very great. She immerses you into the storyline. It's just a brilliant production all the way around. So I highly recommend the audiobook. If you don't want to purchase from Audible, there's also audiobooks.com. That's a competitor. I find they have very similar prices. I've also heard of people using Libby.com. I'll link that below. It is a website where you can borrow books online through like an online library, and I've heard of a few people being able to use Libby and getting the audiobook through Libby. But with all these options, it just makes it much easier to knit with an audiobook. And some people find it cheating. I think it's wonderful, and you can still save your spot in the audiobook. You can still bookmark key points that you want to return back to later. It's still just as easy to digest the information from an audio form as it is in paper and in Kindle form. So these are the 3 ways that I like to knit and read at the same time. If you guys have any pointers to share with us, feel free to comment that below. And hopefully next time I do a live show, it actually uploads and not just go poof. Well, anyway, guys, I will see y'all soon. And bye. Happy reading and knitting. I just smacked myself.